Hi, today we're going to try and pair wine with the classic meat pie. I'm Trent.
And I'm Jason, and we're the Wind Up Podcast. We're two guys on an unfiltered and unapologetically unprofessional wine journey. And our saying here is drink more, try more, learn more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Trent, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and with this pairing of meat pie and a wine, I've been reflecting on our journey, and I realize I'm bloody crap at wine pairing with food.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Jay?
Every single time, every single episode, I'm like, I'm going to pull out something amazing here. And the corkscrew rating is just, it's not good.
I thought you approach it the wrong way, where you're always trying to pick the wine you want to try and just go with whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm trying to just imagine these flavors, but the reality is I don't have a systematic way of working it out. So I said, look, I'm going to go back on my failures and learn from them. So I've done a bit of research. I've looked at our past episodes, and today I'm going to share 5 tips for wine pairing based on my mistakes.
Okay, that sounds good.
So let's go through a bit of reminiscing. Right? Recently, we did an episode on Vegemite. Tried to do a wine pairing. What did I do? I brought out a rosé. Right? Fail. Bum, bum. It didn't work, and I was surprised. But looking at the reasons why, there's a clear rule that I violated, which is match the flavor of your wine to the intensity of the flavor of the food, right? And what happened, the Vegemite, it's bloody full of flavor.
Yeah.
Saltiness, umami, all of that. It had the rosé, it drowned it out.
Yeah. What's going through my mind with all these kind of failed food and wine tastings or pairings is that the slogan, drink more, try more, learn more. Are you actually learning more?
Yes. I'm learning through mistakes, which is fine. Which is
takes 5 times.
That's right. You got to give it a go.
Got it.
But that's one rule, right? Match the wine to the flavor and intensity of the food itself.
Yeah.
You tried it with a English sparkling wine, and that had a lot of like pastry and apple flavors coming through. It's a lot stronger than the rosé. Yeah. It was a better pairing. Yeah. The other thing that I'd learned, again, let's reminisce. Do you remember we did a Aussie Chinese food episode?
I do. Sweet and sour pork, Mongolian lamb.
Sweet and sour pork, Mongolian lamb. I said, I've got a Grenache for the sweet and sour pork. It's going to be fantastic. Bum, fail. Yeah. Another failing there, right? It comes back to another rule that I'd found out about. You should match the acidity or increase the acidity of the wine to the food. So sweet and sour pork, it's got a bit of acidity in it. The Grenache didn't come up to scratch with that.
Yeah.
You matched it with a white, I think it was a white blend.
I think it was a Torbeck, Roussanne, Marsanne, Viognier.
Yeah. And the white wine obviously had more acidity to it. It was a better pairing.
Better but not great.
Yeah. But still, the Grenache was a fail. Yeah. Acidity is important. Match the intensity. The third one was around complementing or enhancing the flavor. So either you've got some contrasting flavors that just work well together, or you've got the same flavors that amplify the flavor itself. And we did an episode in Christmas. Remember the ham and turkey episode?
Yes.
I whipped out our Viognier. Why not? Why not? Because it was a fail again. Bloody hell. The Viognier, if you remember, it was a bit herby, but also a bit more metallic.
Yeah.
Right? The flavors didn't work. It didn't amplify and it didn't complement.
I feel like metal and ham and metal and turkey all the time, though.
Well, some people just have unique flavor tastes, right? And you probably fall into that category.
Different's good.
So think about the flavors that you're putting together. This like classic flavors around the sweetness from melon and the saltiness from a prosciutto. Bring those together. Yeah. Those are kind of complementary.
Yeah. Jason and Trent, is that complementary?
Jason and Trent, yes, absolutely complementary. Forms the Wind Up Podcast, which is good. What if you're thinking about amplifying the flavor, peppery Shiraz and a peppery steak, same peppery flavor, works well together. 2 more to go. We had another failure, Easter. Easter eggs with chocolates. And what did I bring out? I thought I'd be fancy and I'd bring out a wine that I've never had before. A late harvest Tokay. It was a sweet white wine. And that didn't work.
The wine was great though.
The wine was interesting on its own, but it just didn't work as a pairing. Yeah. So another rule I found out, if you're going to choose a wine to pair with sweet food, and you've said this to me before, make sure the wine is sweeter than the food itself. And so you'd brought out a Rockford Tawny port, which was super sweet but delicious, and it just worked and amplified the flavor of the eggs. Right? Yeah. Last one. Match the weight of the food with the wine itself. So we did a Filipino episode, pork and chicken adobo, quite fatty pork.
Well done on you for the cooking.
Thank you. But the pairing, not so good. I did a Pinot, which was quite light, and that heaviness of the pork itself, it didn't quite work. I think you did a Grenache, which worked a lot better because the weight was working with that. So another tip from my failings, match the weight with the food. So that's my top 5 tips for pairing wine and food based off my mistakes.
Yeah, I think you're typical male, right? All you think about is yourself and what you want to try in terms of wines without thinking about the scenario at hand.
Correct. And you're a male as well, so I think that works. That's what I was thinking about. What about you, mate?
What I've been thinking about is, again, demystifying the whole kind of wine world. We often see in tasting notes the terms primary, secondary, and tertiary aromas. So what is it? Do you know what it is? Kind of?
I have over my wine journey, but you explain it.
Okay,
yes.
I'll explain it. So firstly, primary aromas refers to the fruit itself. So we're talking about fruit. For example, grapefruit, lemon, Riesling. We talk about the plums and black fruits in Shiraz. We talk about the white peaches in Chardonnay, or the kind of crisp apples and nectarines. We talk about red cherries in Pinot.
Yeah.
Okay. How they do that one, fermenting stainless steel, kind of less about the oak, more about the fruit, and make sure it's kind of more of a fruit-forward wine, emphasizing on the fruit and the quality of the fruit.
Yeah.
That's primary. Secondary, winemaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Think with oak, vanilla, toast, cocoa, or coconut in the case of American oak, butteriness and creaminess from malolactic fermentation.
Yeah.
Brioche, breadiness from lees contact, especially in champagne. You know, they see that. Again, that's all due to the winemaking process in terms of what they impart onto the wine. So secondary aromas, winemaking. Cool. Tertiary aromas, basically oldness. You know,
oldness.
I think that's a word. Age. The things that we pick up all the time around tertiary is forest floor, shiitake mushroom, soy sauce, leather, and the like, cedar and mushroom, etc. So tertiary aromas is oldness or age. So just to summarize, primary is fruit, secondary winemaking, tertiary is oldness. Or age.
Or age. You've summarized that well. And a lot of people, they'll talk about those primary, secondary, tertiary flavors, and it's like, what the hell is that?
Exactly.
Well summarized by Trent on the wind-up.
So now you can sound like a pro and go, oh, I'm picking up these primary aromas coming through with the back end of a secondary and tertiary coming through.
That sounded pro.
I know. Fantastic. Fake it till you make it is what I say.
Good stuff.
Okay, on to today's episode. Today, we're going to be trying to pair the classic Aussie meat pie with wine. So again, I don't know what you've learned during your time. I'm interested to see what you come with in terms of your wines with the pie. But before we do that, I want to ask you, what do you think of when you think about the Aussie meat pie?
I think of my childhood, to be honest. I think about school, and it was probably something I'd be having on a weekly basis. And like a wine journey, my taste changed. Like I'd start off with the standard 4 and 20 beef pie. I'd upgrade to the one with potato, and then I just stop there. That's all I like. I only like potato.
Is the potato on top?
It was, they say it's shepherd's pie, but they also called it beef and potato.
Actually, it can't be shepherd's pie because shepherd's pie should be lamb. And the one potato has actually got a cottage pie.
Yeah. So good childhood memory as well. What are you thinking about?
School tuck shop.
Yeah.
So put in $5, get a chocolate milk, get a meat pie. Big Ben's, I think it was, or 4 and 20, not too sure. Didn't really care as long as it kind of filled my stomach. And the other thing is, to my point, you didn't really care about what was inside the meat pie. You knew there was like some stuff in there that you shouldn't really know about, or probably not the healthiest, but you try it anyway because
you're a kid. Who cares?
You're a kid. Who cares? Just like potato scallops, right? I thought it was like seafood, but it's actually potatoes.
It's in the name. Yeah.
Anyway, so what is a meat pie? For those that don't know, I looked at Wikipedia. Okay. The authority.
You really needed to look at a source for this? Okay.
So I want to have the official definition, right? So a meat pie is a hand-sized pie containing diced or minced meat and gravy, sometimes with onion, mushrooms, or cheese, and it's often consumed as a takeaway food snack.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So what we've got today is the OG, the original, which is the 4 and 20 meat pie.
We've got that here. Classic crusty top on top. Yeah.
So before we kind of try the pie with the wines, there is a bit of controversy, I think, when we talk about eating a meat pie.
What are you talking about? That's not in the news or anything. What's this controversy?
So the things that kind of popped in my head is like sauce or no sauce.
Wow, that's easy. Really?
What do you do?
Sauce. Who has it without sauce?
No sauce.
Is this a thing? Really?
Yeah. Do you squeeze the sauce on top?
Yeah.
Or do you eat the top first and squeeze the sauce inside?
Okay, that one I could understand. I used to squeeze it onto the top, and then I met my wife and she introduced me to amazing things. She flipped the lid open and squeezed it on the inside. I've never seen this before, but it's better because it doesn't spill.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you do?
I still do on the top. I think it just looks better. It's like what I think of.
Yeah. You want to make love hearts and stuff.
No, I do the map of Australia.
You're skilled, mate.
Next one is, do you use a fork and knife to eat your meat pie?
Never. No, you bite it. It's a snack, so it's meant to be handheld. Just bite into it, let it drip everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you use a knife and fork?
I've been influenced by my wife. So what my wife does is tomato sauce on the lid.
Yeah.
Eat the lid, and then they eat the insides.
Yeah.
The meat filling, and then eat the pastry afterwards.
You're deconstructing it.
Deconstructing.
Why are you doing this? That's not a snack.
You're tasting each individual element.
Okay.
Next one, do you eat it with one hand, with a beer in the other, or a glass of wine in the other, or?
Oh, look, I'll be honest. I've never had a pie with a beverage on the side. Usually I'm tucking in and trying to control the drippage. Yeah. So usually I'm just focused on the pie.
Yeah. So these are the questions that popped in my head. How do you eat your meat pie?
Yeah. Is that a controversial kind of topic? I think it is now that you're saying it. Yeah, let us know what you guys do.
So I do have a knife and fork here for you.
Oh, no. All right.
And I do have the tomato sauce. So you could do as you will in terms of how you want to do it. I won't judge.
Yeah. But you're just looking. You're just staring.
Yeah. So before I talk through some fun facts about the meat pie,
yes,
what wine did you pick to pair with a meat pie today, Jace?
Yeah, so I'm trying to learn from my mistakes, right? And picking up on those rules. The way that I see a pie is that it's quite a heavy snack. It's not a light packet of chips or anything like that. It's quite a heavy stack. Yeah. And so based on that, I feel like I needed a heavy wine. So I've gone for a red.
Yeah.
And then I've been thinking about complementary flavors. Typically a pie, to make the sauce, there's the beef or lamb. In this case, it'd be beef. Yeah. And you're usually having some pepper and you're having some red wine in there often to make the sauce. So I thought a red wine would be quite complementary. And I thought of Shiraz, but you know me, I'm thinking about myself and wanting to try new things. Yeah. So I thought I'd take it in a bit of a different slant, and I'd do a Durif. Is that how you pronounce it?
That is a Durif, yeah.
A Durif. Now, a Durif I've never had before, so I thought they call it a petite Syrah. So I thought it'd be similar to a Shiraz.
But more petite.
But more petite. But apparently it's not. No. The name doesn't do it justice. Yeah. So I'm expecting the dark fruits, the intensity of what a Shiraz to match with this. But there's some unique notes which I'm quite uncertain about. Black tea leaves and chocolate that might come through. Don't know if that's going to work.
So do you have chocolate meat pie all the time? And do you have black tea with with pie all the time.
We might need to after this pairing. Are we going to talk about what you paired, or do you want to give it a try?
Yeah, I'll talk about what I paired, and you can start tucking into that meat pie, trying out the wine, then talking through some fun facts about the meat pie, which it's probably a good idea that you start eating it first before I tell you about the fun facts.
Yes. I'm just going to start biting and go for it.
So what I went for today is the 2021 Izway Bruce Shiraz. So I first saw this one when I went to a wine tasting at Wine Culture in Castle Cove. And I was tasting the Standishes, and then the chap there, Liam, said, you should try this one, the Izway Bruce. And tried it. I loved it. And I've since kind of bought a few more of these kind of Izway wines because they are cracking wines. And I thought the mix between a Barossa kind of biggish kind of grape with the kind of elegance of Eden Valley Shiraz grapes together would kind of match quite well with kind of the meatiness, the earthiness of her meat pie. Nothing kind of says Australian to me like a meat pie, and also nothing says Australian to me like a Shiraz.
So, bring Australia together. Yeah.
Bring Australia together. So that's what I went for. Just to kind of talk through the Izway Bruce head winemaker, Brian Conway, and great Craig Isbell. Craig Isbell worked at Torbreck, so very of that kind of Torbreck style of wine. I think for what I've tried, it is has that bigness of Barossa with the elegance of Eden Valley that has quite a good blend to it, which I thought would be a spectacular pairing to the 4 and 20. So Jace is trying it at the moment. What are you thinking, Jace?
When's the last time you had a 4 and 20 pie?
Since I was in primary, as you're talking about.
I don't remember it, but
pretty shy.
No. Well, we're not going to talk about the quality of the meat itself here, but you got to dig into probably 1/3 of it before you get past that pastry to actually taste the sauce itself. And the flavor is actually quite subtle in the pie.
I think that's why you need more tomato sauce. It actually tastes like something.
But the wine on its own is fantastic. I think the smell that's coming out of it, that fruitiness really shines in the bouquet, but also the blend that you've got, because it's the Eden Valley and Barossa grapes together. He said it well. It's like elegance and power all in one. So I love this wine. Need to go try it. Now, I need another bite of that meat pie to really see if the pairing works.
It brings me back to childhood. Now, while you think about that, tell me some fun facts about meat pie. 2003, Bob Carr, the Premier of New South Wales, said that it was Australia's national dish. I agree with him. The first Australian meat pie was produced in 1947 by L.T. McClure in a small bakery in Bendigo. And guess what the brand was?
4 and 20.
4 and 20.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's why I said the OG. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, FSANZ, or the Food Standards Authority Australia New Zealand, deems that meat pie must contain a minimum of 25% meat flesh. Who knows what the other 75% is, but meat flesh. The definition of meat flesh is the skeletal muscle of the carcass of any buffalo, camel, cattle, deer, goat, hare, pig, poultry, rabbit, or sheep. Slaughtered other than in a wild state, plus any attached animal rind, fat, connective tissue, nerve, blood, and blood vessels. Sounds delicious.
That's why I'm having more wine, because I'm just trying to drown all of that out. Don't worry, we eat sea cucumber, so it doesn't matter. We'll eat anything there.
So that's 25% of it must comprise of that. What do you think the other 75% comprise of?
A mishmash of like fats and stuff. I don't want to know. Do they detail that? They probably don't.
Oh, this sounds like pastry, gravy, and vegetable protein, but I just want to see where your mind kind of went to.
Yeah. It went in places it doesn't want to talk about on this podcast.
So you had to, now you tried the wine with the meat pie. What are you thinking?
So I'm thinking there is the savory elements of it. There's a bit of saltiness that's coming through. The wine itself, it doesn't conflict with it. I think it's an okay pairing. I don't think it like amplifies anything in any way. the flavors that are coming out of the wine is obviously the dark fruits, but also there's a hint of like a dark chocolate, nice bitterness to it, which I quite enjoy, and it's quite light.
Yeah.
I'm not singing and dancing on the pairing itself. Well, you've had a taste.
I think because it's more of an elegant Shiraz, has that brightness, freshness, kind of perfumed effect on it. It's beautiful. It has a kind of chalky tannins. Almost feels like it's kind of too elegant against the rusticness of the meat pie. That also is calling out for something a bit bigger and bolder, like maybe like a Durif.
It could be. Is there an elegant way to eat it with your hands? I get why people use knife and fork. But I've just got it all over my face.
I know.
Which is a good opportunity to try it with the Durif, which is meant to be a bit more intense.
So people often refer to Durif as an old man's wine. Purely because the Durif is kind of big in fruit, big in alcohol. And that's why people kind of like have kind of shied away from drinking too much Durif.
Yeah.
I think I had some in the Riverina before, and they're like really, really, really kind of big fruit bombs, high alcohol, 15%. That is probably against what the trends are at the moment in terms of what people are drinking, more kind of medium-bodied Shirazes.
Yep.
You're trying it now. This one feels it would work with a meat pie. What are you thinking now?
I do think it works with the meat pie. It's interesting because the kind of black tea scent really comes through, but I feel like it's got more intensity and flavor than the Shiraz, which kind of helps amplify the flavors. When I imagined a Durif, I did imagine it a lot darker, but also like really flavors that made your eyes squint because it was so intense, but it's not that. Yeah. But this is a different style of Durif, and there is a reason that I wanted to try it because it's from Beechworth, and we love Beechworth.
We love Beechworth.
So Kasia Sobisiak, Kasia, I hope I said your name right, from the Wine Front, gave this 94 points. Yeah. And she said that it's got like loads of dark plum, blackberry flavor. It's brooding, beetroot, sage, whole mouth feel. But the Beechworth aspect to it can make it quite light, which is fantastic.
Did she say perfect pairing with a 4 and 20 meat pie?
She didn't say that, but maybe if Kasia can give us a pairing or a recommendation, that'd be good. I actually think that pairs a bit better purely because the flavors are a bit more amplified.
Yeah, it really brings out the buffalo, camel, deer, and the hare, I think, in the meat pie.
And the 5%.
Ratings? What are you thinking? First, the Izway?
Yeah, I think the Izway is okay. I'd give that a 6 out of 10 for 6 out of 10 corkscrews as a pairing. It doesn't exactly clash, but it doesn't enhance the pairing in any way.
Yeah.
Yourself?
6 as well. I think the meat pie kind of overpowered the elegance of the Izway, and that's why I think it didn't work. But now onto the Durif, the Eldorado.
Yeah, I think that works. Again, it's not like my mind is blown in terms of the pairing itself, but I'd give that a 7 out of 10 corkscrews. It works well. It lifts up the flavors a bit more than the Shiraz. What about you?
That's what I was thinking as well. 7 out of 10. We're just so much in sync. We're like perfect pairing in ourselves.
Yes.
7 out of 10. But maybe a beer and meat pie is a thing.
I'm imagining it, and I just don't think it is. I think it's such a classical pairing for Aussie blokes and Aussie people to have. But do you think the flavors would work? The yeast,
similar to wines. I think it depends on the type of wine as well, right? Yeah. Like I think a darker stout would work.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, it has that body, and hence why I use that kind of those beef and steak and meat pies. You use the kind of dark ales, but not so much the kind of light lagers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go.
The beer up. Here we go.
So that probably takes us to the end. Any last messages?
Last messages is I think 4 and 20 meat pies is a sometimes food, not an everyday food.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And let us know what you think goes well with a meat pie. I think maybe the Durif kind of does it a bit, but it doesn't blow my mind.
Not exactly sold.
But I would love to have something that would just go, oh my God, this is a life-changing type of pairing. So
Yeah.
I'm still out there to try and seek new suggestions.
If anyone has any recommendations, please put it in the comments below. In the meantime, give these a try. Let us know your thoughts. Shiraz and 4 and 20 meat pie or a Durif. What do you think? As we like to say here, drink more, try more, learn more. Thanks all.